I'm 18 years old and I just booked a call with a $1 billion insurance company. Now, when it comes to reaching big companies, I think people often think you need money, you need loads of connections, but in reality, you can reach big businesses with the right strategy. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I book calls with businesses just like this who do billions of dollars in revenue every year, and how I work my way into finding the decision makers and getting on a call with them. So I'm Oliver. I set up Dashboard Daddy, and Dashboard Daddy creates no-code software development products, in particular dashboards for different types of businesses. Now, for so long, I was stuck in this cycle of only thinking you can reach smaller businesses, and always setting the kind of LinkedIn sales nav to maybe 1 to 10, and then one day I set it to 200 to 1,000, I think, and then I went to the next one, 1,000 to 10,000, and the amount of responses that I got, the amount of calls that I booked, they didn't change. So the first step is you need to get rid of that energy of thinking that you cannot book calls with big companies, because you absolutely can, no matter what age you are. The reality is, I think a lot of young people see themselves as unexperienced, but in reality, you can flip that and you can be the kind of young tech guy. You can be the young guy, the up and coming star who knows what they're talking about, and their knowledge is constantly growing. So it's all about how you pitch yourself, but don't let your age, no matter how old you are, put you off selling to bigger companies. Okay, so getting started, obviously outreach, cold outreach, whatever, is a massive topic, and you need to really focus down on who you are targeting and what platform you are targeting on. If you're just getting started and you're running a business alone, you cannot be running a cold email campaign as well as having maybe a LinkedIn strategy, as well as sending outreach messages on Instagram. It just doesn't work. You need to pick one and you need to do it right. So I'd absolutely say, if you're getting started out, pick LinkedIn. I'd pick LinkedIn over something like cold email, because you can go onto someone's LinkedIn profile. If you receive a LinkedIn message from someone, you can tell if they're genuine in maybe 5 seconds. So unlike a cold email where you might have to go check out their website, check out it on Companies House, check out their socials, LinkedIn, you visit their profile and you have the opportunity to look really professional depending on how you position your LinkedIn profile. And so when it comes to LinkedIn outreach, you've got two main options. You can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or you can just stick with LinkedIn Basic. Both work. Obviously, Sales Navigator, you're going to get a much more refined result and you can target more particular people. So if you've got the £80 a month or want to sign up for the free trial, I would absolutely recommend going with Sales Navigator, because that's going to save you a lot of pain in terms of picking people out. So of course, unless you're targeting the right people, your cold outreach campaign just isn't going to work. So the first step is making sure you've got your filters right on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Now I'm going to walk you through, I'm on Sales Nav here, just what I would normally do. Everyone does it differently. This is what's worked for me. Important filters are definitely posting on LinkedIn. Make sure that is turned on. Also, don't over filter it. Don't put loads of different filters on. You just want to stick to the basics. So I'd recommend doing company size. I'd recommend doing industry, even though that's not always relevant if you use the search bar. I'd recommend doing job title, and I'd also recommend doing location. With those four, you can get a really good lead list with who you're going to contact. So when it comes to picking the job title, with bigger companies, you have loads and loads of different job titles. So unlike targeting a kind of small company where you're just looking for founders or head of operations, with a big company, you have got a lot of different job titles. So my recommendation would be go into ChatGPT and ask it, what are decision makers in this industry? So for me, it's who are decision makers in an insurance company, and you'll get a whole different list. You want to put that straight into LinkedIn Sales Nav and use that. So if it's a big company, you do not want to go for the top level executives. You want to be aiming for those kind of mid-level executives. So in particular, not CEOs, not COOs, not big company organizers, because the realistic thing is you're not going to get a response from those people. And if you go for the middle and you work your way, obviously they can introduce you to people higher up. That's a much more effective method to getting your foot in the door to bigger companies. So you've got all those leads in a lead list. Now this is where the magic happens. This is the cold outreach message which booked me a call with a $1 billion insurance company. So all I do is I keep it really simple. So Hey name, I'm 18 and building out a business. Would I be able to get some feedback on X? Obviously that specifically depends to what you're offering in your industry. Make it something interesting, make it a kind of unique hook on something. So obviously plainly what I'm selling is custom built dashboards, but for insurance companies I rephrased that slightly and I said, would you mind giving some feedback on how I'm transforming MI, which is a kind of sector of information management in insurance, using AI? I know the MI and the AI probably isn't the best worded now I say it out loud, but it's about doing that. It's about making it look like, or showing that you have a project you're working on and all you're looking for is advice. Now, obviously, this works really, really nicely because the basic premise is people want to help people and people will come back to you and they'll say, yep, for sure. Now, obviously, what you're actually offering advice on is up to you. You've got a few different options. You could book a call, you could send over a video, you could send over your website, whatever. I would recommend sending over a Loom video. Keep it 2 minutes and explain what you're doing. Make sure in that Loom video that it's not too salesy. You're purely just explaining what you're working on, because to be honest, if your product is good, it shouldn't need the sales side of things. Just think about on LinkedIn, there are so many people in your inbox every day selling you stuff, and you imagine when you're a CEO or a mid-level executive of a big company, that is times 100. You are getting a huge amount of that email. So you just want to cut through the crowd with a message and with a video that looks really genuine and is of course also really genuine. So when filming your Loom video, I just say keep it cheerful. I think you get a lot of people who are just filming in really dark rooms with really monotonal voices, and you definitely stand out if you are just a little bit more exciting than them. Also, little tip, make the title of that Loom video, make that their name, and then all you're doing in that video again is just explaining what you're working on. Obviously it needs to relate to the message that you sent prior. Something I would use quite a lot, which I think is quite useful, is talking about being the reason that you're filming the video is I'm trying to see if my product fits into your industry. So when I was starting with insurance companies, I was just asking them, I was filming videos and I was saying, look, I want to know where I can use Bubble, where I can integrate dashboards into the insurance industry. And you get loads of really good responses there of people who are genuinely willing to help you. Now, the big thing you need to not get put off by here is not everyone is going to want to book a call with you. Of course they're not. You're not really meant to be selling anything. If they're booking a call with you, that's an added extra. But what people are going to do a lot of the time is give feedback, and that feedback is critical. Especially if you're in the early days of growing your business, you shouldn't really be worried about booking calls, because trust me, that feedback, the more of that feedback you get, the better your videos get, the more you understand your industry, the better your outreach messages get, the better your sales call gets. Everything just goes up a level. So use that feedback. I put all my feedback into a Google Sheets document. I use AI to analyze it every month, and we really make that the core of how we change our kind of outreach methods every month. So obviously backing that up, what I think is really, really important is that your LinkedIn profile looks good. Make sure it looks professional. Make sure you've got that banner image, you've got a nice profile picture, and then that's where your content becomes really, really important. Your content should be written to appeal to your target audience. It should be talking about specific problems in the industry you're trying to target. Because I think the thing people don't get about LinkedIn is there are two sides to it. You've got the lead gen side and you've got the demand gen side. And both of those things put hand in hand will book you calls with your ideal prospects on LinkedIn. But unless you're doing both of those things together and you're doing them both well, you're not going to get anywhere. I think people often oversell when it comes to LinkedIn content, because the reality is you shouldn't really need to directly be selling your product anywhere. Make these LinkedIn posts, like look at mine, make them about you, make them personal, make them unique to the story you're going on, and absolutely your story is going to sell more than your product, because millions of other people are selling your product and only one of you has your story. So sell that while kind of subtly weaving in the product element of it. So that's all I'm going to go through in today's video. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe below, and good luck reaching your $1 billion companies. Bye bye.